Okay, as you can see, I got those two up. These both have 2 coats on the outside, so they are ready for canvassing out there. I have my spacers here. This is 3.5 inches from side to side, and then this one's about a 1/2 inch thick, so it's a little too thick for the plywood I'm using, but you'll see how I deal with that in just a second here. Now, you want to get this end as squared up as you can and even. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the canvas goes on a little better if you get them even. Okay, so spacer goes down. You're going to need this far enough back that it's not in the glue line on the bottom or the top. So lift and punch it back about here. Make sure we don't have one stacked like that. There we go. Now, like I said, that's a 1/2 inch. It's a little too thick. If I just clamped a board down on there, it wouldn't work, but folded up Scott towel here. Keeps the clamping pressure out here outside. I don't want to clamp down on this. When I'm going fast enough, this stuff will actually be tacky enough that it could glue the spacers on, so you don't want to do that. Putting the pressure out to the sides a little better. I usually make sure that my newest face is up too, so that don't have to worry about the glue down here sticking to it as much. Now I've gotten that finger tight. Then there are better ways of doing this, but take good old pliers, in this case lineman pliers, hold the bottom, and now let's make sure we've got it together first. I'm going to bash the edges a little bit, still tacky. But hold the bottom tight. You could also use a wrench, a ratchet, or a box wrench, whatever. There's nothing too scientific about this. I'm just making it tight. And there you go. That one's good to go. We're still not perfectly even. This one's a little in further, so we'll try and take care of that by sliding it a bit. It's too tight. I know, I hear all those people, all those engineers out there saying, "Hey, you're bunging those threads up." I know. Sorry, I do evil things to hardware sometimes. And we're still not loose enough. Oh well, you guys get to see the crashes in the video here, so I'll show you the good and the bad. Okay, now that's loose enough. Slide it down just a bit. Make sure it's back together. With that spacer at exactly 3.5 inches. That dimension comes from the internal spreaders that we put later. The spreader design is based upon this gap being 3.5 inches max. It tries to push everything out to that line. So, anyways, this spreader's in. Front's even. That side's good to go. We'll come around to this other side here and do this one. Please pardon the mess. Okay, so same thing on this side. The nice thing about these is pretty much all of this is repeating over and over again. If you can do multiple boats at the same time. Do your first one by itself, just to, or really watch lots of videos over and over again, so that you know where you're going, what you're doing. But after that, if you can build multiple boats at the same time, it goes vastly faster. My second time building 2 boats at the same time, I actually did 2 boats faster than I did the original one. But you can pile all of these up into one pile, cut them all at the same time. It doesn't, the contact cement and the painting adds time, but other than that, the time is about the same whether you do 1 boat or 3 boats or 5 boats. If you get too excessive, like about 3 is the most you want to cut with a jigsaw at a time, and skill saw and such. If you go beyond that, then you're doing multiples. But once again, you're still batching the job, and it helps out. Now, since I had that other end even, this end's automatically even, and that went much quicker and much easier. We're done now, and good to put canvas on. I already have a couple strips ready to go here, so we'll go about doing that. Doing these ends, number one, let's make sure we're seeing everything here. Number one, make sure that you have about, where the middle is. In this case, right here. You want to take that middle, get it as close as you can to the center line of the boat. Notice I'm stretching this. You want to stretch this as much as you can. Get it as tight as you can. And the boat will try and run away, so you're doing a bungee job here. Try and stretch it as much as you can. That will make it easier to get any creases out. Let me go down the other side here. I'm going to give a good yank. I've got hand on here. I give a good yank. Pull it around as hard as I can. Only touch the outside edge. At this point, don't run anything else down. You want to make sure all this gets into position correctly before you commit. Now notice, do you see how much stretch there is there? Stretch it as far as you can. Put it on the crease. Okay. Now, you see there's a little pucker here. We want to try and push near the pucker, but not on the pucker itself perfectly. If you push on the pucker, it doesn't. You end up making 2 folds and right beside where the pucker and your finger went. So, okay, a little bit of if you're very careful, you can peel this back up when it's just stuck. You cannot do this the next day, but if you just stuck it, you can usually peel it back up some. Pull this tight here. Okay, and you see, this actually went way better than the last boat I did. The last boat had a couple pucker seams here from the not getting it tight enough. This is another reason when you cut this canvas, cut it on the bias, cut 45 degrees to the stitching. That lets you stretch this a lot farther than if you just do it linearly. Now, remember we had that little divot there. We want to make sure we get this pushed down into that divot. Work our fingers around, we're pushing in and down at the same time. Trying to get this as seated as possible. And like I said, don't worry that there's all this extra glue, contact cement here. It's not going to hurt anything Latex paint will go right over it, no big deal. You do have to wait until it fully cures, 24 hours plus, before you paint on it, or you may have issues then, but if it's fully cured, you're good to go. Anyways, this is end number 1. Let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and do end number 2. Hopefully it goes as well. Doing this on camera, of course I will not want to, but we'll see if we can get another clean one here. Use your longest strips that you can for this. If you've got some shorter strips, save those for fill-ins and stuff like that. Use your long strips for the end, so that you've got as much contact there as you can. This is the part where the most stress is on the canvas. The sides, there's very little stress, but up here where this is all having to hold it pulled down at the ends where this is spread out, there's a ton of stress. So anyways, once again, find the center. There's the center. Let's see if I can do this without getting in the way of the camera too much. We're gonna pull center line with your thumbs, and I got them a little off, but you can reposition. As long as you haven't tacked it all down, you can reposition it. Once again, give it hold, pull as hard as you can, position. Oh, I let that one go. Pull as hard as you can. Okay. Run this around. And I got a little heavy on the bottom. It's sticking in further than on the top. Ran out of time on that last recording, so anyways, okay, so as you can see, as I'm pulling, you can see it kind of wander around the corner there. That's good. That's exactly what you want, because that means it's going to be easier to get all the creases out of it. Okay, we stick this down, and then once again, come back and push in. Make sure you've got it everywhere stuck as well as you can. If you happen to have a J-roller for flooring, does not hurt to go over this with a J-roller. Same as you do with Formica countertops and such. It's the same deal. You're trying to get this as squished together as you can with that contact cement. Anyways, that one went well as well. So, if you do get any bumps in here, creases where it makes a hill and you just can't get it to push down or anything, take the thinnest pair of scissors you have, cut across the top of that lump, and push it down. Paint a little contact cement over it to act as a waterproofer, and you're fine. Not a big deal at all. But you don't want to leave something hanging up to catch and get pulled and tear it open. Anyways, we'll keep going on this.